stop for a second, pause everything and breathe, but really breathe. Not like that quick, distracted, automatic way we usually do without noticing, but with presence, with intention, as if that simple act could open an inner door you've been ignoring for years. Now let me ask you an uncomfortable question. What if the key to transforming your mind, healing your body, and redirecting your destiny has always been right under your nose, and no one ever explained it to you? It's not a nice phrase nor an inspiring metaphor. It's literal. What I'm going to share with you in this video is ancient knowledge, carefully guarded by civilizations that knew very well what they had in their hands. A breathing technique so powerful, so transformative, that it was only passed on to prepared disciples and to people ready to truly take on their inner sovereignty. In the chaos of the modern world, constant rush, normalized stress, permanent distraction, we have lost touch with the most basic and at the same time, the most powerful tool we have to regulate our vital energy: conscious breathing. They taught us to look outside. Expensive therapies, external solutions, promises from others. As if real alchemy wasn't already happening inside you, with every inhale and every exhale you take without even noticing. The real alchemy is in our body. Ancient cultures knew without laboratories or MRI scans. The way you breathe not only fills your lungs, it regulates your nervous system, synchronizes your brain, and strengthens your heart, and activates that internal radar with which you interpret and manifest your reality. In this video, we are going to uncover what has always been in front of us, the hidden role of the vagus nerve and how to activate it. Code 2, that misunderstood villain that is actually one of your body's greatest allies. The 4-7-8 breathing technique as a master key to align body, mind, and emotion. And how, by mastering your breath, you can directly influence the reticular activating system of your brain, the filter that decides what you see, what you ignore, and what ends up appearing in your life. This isn't just nice theory. I'm going to give you clear examples, metaphors you can understand, and real practices you can apply.
Desde hoy.
When you learn to breathe consciously, you not only oxygenate your body, you rewrite the script of your life. So take a breath, open your mind, and join me. What comes next could change the way you experience your day-to-day life. Since the first sparks of human consciousness, wise men, mystics, and alchemists from all cultures sense something that we are only now beginning to understand. Breathing is not just biology. It is a sacred act, a living bridge between matter and spirit. In ancient Egypt, priests from temples like Karnak and Luxor practiced advanced rhythmic breathing during rituals to connect with the divine. They believed that the breath of life, what they called Ka, was vital energy consciously absorbed and distributed through breathing. In India, the priests, the Vedic rishis, developed pranayama, a discipline that understands breathing as prana, the cosmic force that sustains all forms of life. By learning to direct that prana, they not only strengthened the body and mind, but also accessed states of consciousness that go beyond the rationale. In China, Taoism took this even further. Practitioners of Qigong and internal alchemy use deep, slow, and silent breaths to accumulate and refine Qi, the energy that flows through the body's meridians. For them, each conscious breath was another brick in the construction of what is known as body of immortality, an energetic structure that transcends the flesh. Even in closer traditions such as Christian mysticism, the idea of divine inspiration appears, not only as a symbol, but as the belief that in deep states of prayer and calm breathing, the soul could literally be imbued with wisdom and divine presence. Or what are all these traditions separated by centuries and continents telling us? Exactly the same thing, that conscious breathing was a sacred art, a tool for power, health, longevity, and inner expansion. And yet, at some point in our recent history, this wisdom was forgotten or perhaps conveniently ignored. Industrialization, the fast pace, living on autopilot, and the progressive disconnection from the body pushed conscious breathing into a forgotten corner of human knowledge. Today we breathe so we don't die, but we almost never breathe to truly live. Recovering this practice isn't just a web trend, it's an act of inner rebellion. It's remembering that in every inhale and every exhale, there's enormous potential hidden. Breathing consciously is a silent declaration of freedom. It's telling the world without words that real power isn't in what you accumulate, but in how you manage your vital energy. Up to this point, it's already clear that ancient traditions saw breathing as a direct gateway to a more expanded life. But now comes the key question. What really happens inside you when you breathe slowly, deeply, and mindfully? What mechanism is activated behind something that seems so simple? To understand it, imagine your body as a large power plant. Breathing is the main generator. All systems, every cell, and even the quality of your life depend on it. If you breathe shallow and fast like most people do today, that power plant works at half capacity. There's a lack of energy, oxygen doesn't circulate properly, toxins build up, and the mind becomes chaotic. On the other hand, when breathing becomes deep and conscious, the whole system shifts to a different state. The vagus nerve is activated, an internal highway that connects the brain with the heart, the lungs, the stomach, and the intestines. This nerve belongs to the parasympathetic system, the body's repair mode. It's the system that digests, regenerates, balances, and heals. By stimulating it with breathing, the heart rate drops, cortisol, the stress hormone, is reduced, and acetylcholine is released, the neurotransmitter of calm, clarity, and emotional stability. But here's what the ancients knew, and science is only just beginning to accept. By activating the vagus nerve, not only is the physical body regulated, but deep energetic channels are also open. The Taoists spoke of the central channel. The yogis called it Sushumna, the axis through which Kundalini energy rises. Different names, same phenomenon. Add to this the great misunderstood one, carbon dioxide. People tend to see carbon dioxide as an enemy, as a waste that needs to be expelled as soon as possible. But without adequate levels of CO2, oxygen is not properly released into the cells. When we breathe too quickly and expel it excessively, real oxygenation decreases and vitality drops. That's why techniques like 4-7-8 breathing, inhaling for 4 seconds, use carbon dioxide for breathing. They keep CO2 for just the right amount of time so that gas exchange is efficient and the body enters a deep state of calm. From the energetic perspective, gentle retention, kumbhaka, generates internal pressure that drives vital energy toward the spine. That energy nourishes the endocrine glands, pineal, pituitary, thyroid, awakens intuition, and supports regeneration processes. Let's see it clearly step by step in each cycle of conscious breathing. First, deep inhalation, the lungs expand, the heart is massaged, and the chest meridians open. Second, brief retention, CO2 increases, oxygen is released more efficiently, and energy rises toward higher centers. Third, slow exhalation, the vagus nerve is activated, the body relaxes and tensions dissolve. Fourth, pause at the end of the exhalation. a fertile emptiness where the mind enters into silence. This flow not only regulates biology, it harmonizes prana or chi, unlocks energy centers, chakras or dantians, and strengthens the energy field, increasing resilience, personal magnetism, and inner sensitivity. And the most powerful thing of all is this: none of this requires external substances, expensive devices, or complicated rituals. Everything happens with something you already have and that you've been using without knowing how. Just you, your body, and your breath. Nothing else. You are the tool. You are the system. You are the technology. And now that you understand how conscious breathing impacts your biology and your energy, it's time to go a level deeper. This is where those who just try breathing are separated from those who truly learn to use breath as an internal art. Because, as the Taoist sages used to say, it's not enough to know that the river exists. You have to learn to move within its invisible currents. The first nuance is intention. It's not a minor detail, it's the core. Every time you breathe consciously, the mental and emotional state you are in gets imprinted on the energy you generate. If you practice in a hurry with anxiety, wanting to achieve something right away, that vibration contaminates and limits the process. That's why the ancients insisted so much on the previous state. Before you start, pause for a moment. Bring your attention to your chest, slow down your pace, and set a clear and elevated intention. Something simple but honest. May this breath harmonize me, bring me back to my center, connect me with what is essential. Intention aligns your inner self, and when everything is aligned, the effect multiplies. The second point is progression. There are no shortcuts here. Many of these techniques were reserved for initiates, not out of mystery, but out of responsibility. Too much misdirected energy can destabilize. People with a sensitive nervous system or deep emotional blockages, if they force the practice, may experience dizziness, palpitations, anxiety, or intense dreams. The rule is clear, little but consistent. Start with 3 to 5 minutes a day, observe, listen. If you feel more centered, more present, more serene, you're on the right track. If discomfort appears, don't fight it. Scale back, adjust, respect the pace. The body always gives signals. It's another thing whether we listen to them. The third point is the alignment of the body. Think of your spine as an antenna. If it's hunched, collapsed, or tense, the signal gets distorted. When you breathe, keep your spine upright without stiffness, your chin slightly tucked in, and the crown of your head gently pointing upward. It's not an aesthetic pose, it's a functional alignment. This way, you open the central channel and energy flows without obstacles. Each breath becomes more efficient, clearer, and deeper. The fourth aspect is grounding. Raising energy without anchoring is a recipe for dispersion. As you breathe and expand, visualize roots descending from the base of your spine and the soles of your feet toward the center of the earth. It's not fantasy, it's a way to balance. You rise up above, you stay grounded below. This way you avoid the feeling of disconnection, of getting too much into your head. The energy flows, but it isn't lost. And the last point, maybe the most important one, is integration. This isn't about doing an exercise and then going back to the usual chaos. True mastery appears when conscious breathing stops being an isolated moment and becomes an invisible thread running through your day. When walking, talking, working, even resting, the breath becomes a continuous presence. The Taoists summed it up with a striking phrase: the wise man breathes from his heels, the common man only fills his chest. They weren't discussing anatomy, but rather depth. A silent, deep, and steady breath is a sign of internal regulation, longevity, and mastery of energy. Remember the pillars of this stage: clear intention, gradual progress, aligned posture, and firm grounding. Everything else is built only when these foundations are in place. Whoever consistently honors these 5 pillars not only regains vitality and mental clarity, but also resonates with the cosmic breath of the universe itself, constantly aligning with the natural rhythms that sustain and organize all forms of life. Knowing a secret is a privilege. Embodying it in daily experience is an act of true mastery. Now that you have understood the principles and subtleties of conscious breathing, the next step is to allow this ancient art to merge with your daily life in an organic, fluid, and sustained way. Because true wisdom does not reside in isolated technique, but in the ability to transform every moment into a sacred act of presence, energy, and inner coherence. If you've made it this far, you're not average, because very few people maintain their attention when the content starts to get real. Write this phrase in the comments. I breathe with awareness, not for me, but to show who actually stayed. Next, I want to share with you 7 practical keys designed to help you cultivate this inner power in a simple, harmonious, and deeply effective way. First, the morning grounding ritual. As soon as you wake up, before you touch your phone or let yourself get swept up by the momentum of the day, sit at the edge of your bed or in a comfortable space. Close your eyes, place your hands on your lower abdomen, and take 10 breaths. Breathe deeply, slowly, and mindfully. Visualize how, as you inhale, you absorb clean, clear, and luminous energy. And as you exhale, tensions, burdens, and accumulated heaviness dissolve. This simple gesture anchors your energy, clears your mind, and establishes a harmonious field that stays with you throughout the day. Second, the transitional breathing for activities. Before a meeting, when you get home, or before an important conversation, pause for 2 minutes. Inhale, counting to 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 7 seconds. Exhale slowly for 8 seconds. Repeat this cycle 5 times. This pattern regulates your nervous system and prevents you from carrying stress, hurry, or distraction from one experience to the next. Third, breath awareness while walking. While you're moving, whether it's to work, the supermarket, or during a walk, synchronize the rhythm of your steps with your breathing. 4 steps as you inhale, 4 steps as you exhale. This habit quiets the mind, strengthens the body, and revitalizes your energy, turning every walk into a form of active meditation. Fourth, the inner smile as you breathe. Every time you inhale, allow a slight inner smile to arise, even if it doesn't show on the outside. This smile generates a subtle vibration of gratitude, calm, and well-being that permeates your energy field, immediately raising your frequency and your emotional state. Fifth, the nighttime cleansing breath. Before going to sleep, lie on your back. Close your eyes and take gentle, deep, and continuous breaths. Visualize how, with each exhalation, you release the stress, worries, and emotions accumulated throughout the day. This practice cleanses your energy field, relaxes your nervous system, and prepares your body and mind for a truly restorative rest. Sixth, the conscious reminder. Place small visual cues, like a special stone, a symbol, or a note, in key places: the desk, the mirror, the steering wheel of the car. Every time you see them, take 3 conscious breaths. This anchor keeps the practice alive even in the midst of the fast pace of everyday life. Seventh, the breath journal. At the end of the day, write in a notebook. How many times did you breathe consciously? How did you feel afterwards? What changes did you notice in your energy and your emotions? This exercise strengthens self-observation consolidates the habit, and allows you to closely follow your own internal evolution. By applying these 7 keys, you will begin to cultivate an increasingly stable, serene, and resilient energy field. Over time, you will notice greater mental clarity, more conscious emotional management, stronger health, and a deep sense of connection with life. We have traveled a path that leads not only to intellectual understanding, but to a direct reconnection with the very source of life that pulses within you. What has been revealed here is not simply a breathing technique. It is a portal to inner mastery, a key that opens the doors to an ancient power, forgotten but always latent in the depths of your being. Throughout history, wise civilizations understood that breath is not just air, it is prana, chi, spirit, the cosmic energy that nourishes all existence. They knew that whoever masters their breath governs their mind, and whoever governs their mind directs their destiny. Today, you have remembered that truth. We have seen how conscious breathing stimulates the vagus nerve, harmonizes the nervous system, elevates vital energy, and awakens more subtle levels of perception. We have explored how intention, posture, rhythm, and consistency turn each inhalation and each exhalation into an alchemical act. And above all, we have understood that true power is not found outside of us, but in the way we manage our own internal energy moment by moment. The modern world has tried to disconnect us from this wisdom. We were taught to breathe shallowly, to live in a hurry, to look outside for what can only be found within. Today, with every conscious breath, you rebel against that forgetfulness. Today, you reclaim your energetic sovereignty, but don't stop here. What you have learned is just the threshold of a much broader path. Breathing is the foundation upon which you can build a life of vibrant health, a clear mind, balanced emotions, and an expanded spirit. Every day is an opportunity to hone your mastery, refine your energy, and transform your reality from the inside out. If this knowledge has resonated with you, if you have felt the call to reconnect with your inner power, share this wisdom. Expand this energy and allow others to also remember this map toward integral harmony. Subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell, and support this content with your like, so that together we can continue exploring ancient teachings that since time immemorial have guided seekers of balance, longevity, and transcendent truth. Stay tuned for the upcoming videos where we will reveal new esoteric techniques, ancient knowledge, and practices that strengthen the body, awaken the mind, and expand the soul. Because this path does not end here. Each conscious breath is one more step toward your complete awakening. May deep peace, luminous clarity, and radiant vitality accompany you with every inhale and every exhale. The reason why this content is here and the next one is right after. The ancients never taught these practices in separate parts. Breathing is the foundation. What comes next is the activation. If this video opened you up, the next one calibrates you. Not watching it is staying at the door, watching it is stepping through.